in the heart of the ancient continent of Tura, where the golden sands met the vibrant hues of the sunset. Two kingdoms lay side by side. The verdant lands of Eloria and the rugged, sun-scorched realm of Pyrith. The air thrummed with the tension of centuries-old rivalries, echoing the legacies of kings who bore the weight of ancestral grudges as heavy as the swords they wielded. Among the towering mountains and lush valleys, Eloria was renowned for its wisdom, beauty, and the serenity that enveloped its inhabitants. Yet, it was also a land where dreams often found themselves shackled by tradition. At the center of this kingdom stood Princess Kira, a young woman whose spirit was a tempest, wild and unyielding. Unlike other princesses who adorned themselves with silks and delicate embroidery, Kira harbored a fierce passion for adventure and combat. Her emerald eyes sparkled with the thrill of possibility as she envisioned herself on the back of a galloping stallion, charging across the vast fields, sword raised high. But in the royal court, she was expected to embody grace and gentility, to be the perfect image of a princess. Her father, King Eldrin, had insisted she learn the arts of weaving and embroidery, convinced that these skills would prepare her for a life of diplomacy and grace. Each lesson, however, felt like a prison cell to Kira. The gentle click of needles and the soft rustle of fabric clashed with the beat of her warrior's heart. She would often find herself staring out of her chamber window, yearning for the sounds of clashing swords and the cheers of her fellow warriors. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden light over the land, she felt a stirring deep within her soul, calling to break free from the constraints of her title. Unbeknownst to her, the head guard of the castle, a seasoned warrior named Eler, had taken notice of her restlessness. Eler was a man forged in the fires of battle, his body a canvas of scars and stories. He saw in Kira not just a princess, but a kindred spirit, a warrior waiting to be unleashed. In the dead of night, when the castle fell into slumber, Eler would sneak Kira out into the training grounds, where the soft glow of the moon illuminated their secret practice. There, under the watchful eye of the stars, Kira learned the art of the sword, her movements fluid and fierce, as if the weapon was an extension of her very being. Years passed in the shadows of their training, each night bringing Kira closer to her dreams of becoming a warrior. She grew into a formidable fighter, her skills honed to a razor's edge. Yet her secret remained hidden from the court, known only to Eler. The days of gentle embroidery were replaced by the exhilaration of swordplay, and Kira thrived in this duality, a princess by day and a warrior by night. But as fate would have it, dark clouds gathered over the horizon. A war broke out between Eloria and Pyrith, ignited by a series of skirmishes over territory and resources. The cries of battle echoed across the land, and soon Kira's father, King Eldrin, along with Eler and many soldiers, were captured during a brutal clash, taken prisoner in the enemy kingdom of Pyrith. The news hit Kira like a thunderbolt, shattering the fragile world she had built. Grief and anger surged through her veins, but within that tempest, a flame of determination ignited. She would not let her father's fate be sealed by the whims of war. Gathering the youth of Eloria, Kira became their rallying cry. Boys and girls alike, tired of living under the shadow of their parents' failures, came together under her leadership. They were strong and brave, each one yearning for a chance to fight for their kingdom and their loved ones. Kira trained them fiercely, her heart aflame with purpose as she forged an army from the ashes of despair. Under her guidance, they transformed from frightened villagers into a formidable force, united by the shared dream of rescuing their captured king. As months of preparation culminated in a day of reckoning, Kira led her makeshift army to the gates of Pyrrhus, determination etched into her features. The sight of the towering fortress filled her with a mixture of dread and exhilaration. With every step, she felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders, the lives of her people, the legacy of her father, and the dreams of a warrior that pulsed through her veins. At the gates, with her heart pounding like a war drum, Kira stepped forward, her voice ringing out like a clarion call. I, Kira, Princess of Eloria, challenge you, Prince Riker of Pyrrhus, to single combat. Let our fates be decided in battle. The air crackled with tension as the prince emerged, a tall figure adorned in armor that glimmered ominously under the midday sun. Riker, with his striking features and piercing blue eyes, regarded Kira with a mixture of amusement and respect. Fair princess, your courage is commendable. I accept your challenge, he replied, his voice smooth yet laced with the thrill of competition. As their swords clashed, the sound echoed like a battle cry, the rhythm of their dance captivating those who watched. The duel was fierce and elegant, each strike revealing the depth of their training and the fire of their spirits. Kira fought not just for her kingdom, but for her very identity, pouring her heart and soul into every swing of her sword. With every parry, she felt herself transcending her title, embracing the warrior she had always been. Yet as the fight wore on, a surprising emotion began to weave its way into Riker's heart. He hadn't anticipated the intensity of Kira's spirit or the skill she displayed. With each passing moment, admiration bloomed within him, eclipsing the rivalry that had defined their families for generations. He was captivated not just by her prowess, but by the fire that ignited her movements, the spirit of a true warrior. When the final blow was struck, Kira emerged victorious, her sword poised at Riker's throat, her breath heavy with exertion. But instead of a cry of triumph, she found herself staring into his eyes that reflected a mixture of respect and something deeper. In that moment, Kira realized that her victory could come at a price far greater than she had imagined. Release the prisoners and we may have peace, Riker proposed, a flicker of hope illuminating his gaze. Kira hesitated. A marriage born from a battle could unite their kingdoms. But her heart was not a pawn to be sacrificed. No, I will not marry for the sake of peace alone, she declared, her voice unwavering. I will not sacrifice my freedom for the chains of tradition. Defeated yet impressed, Riker nodded, a hint of admiration lurking in his expression. In the days that followed, Kira's reputation as a warrior princess spread through both kingdoms. The people of Pyrrhus, inspired by her bravery, began to question the very foundations of the conflict. Riker, determined to win her heart through genuine means, sought her out, offering friendship instead of conflict. Yet Kira remained guarded, torn between her duty as a leader and the unexpected feelings blossoming within her heart. As their paths intertwined, they found themselves drawn together, each moment charged with unspoken tension. Riker shared tales of valor, recounting the struggles of his people, while Kira revealed the dreams of her kingdom, her visions of peace echoing in the air between them. Days turned into weeks, and as the battle for Eloria's freedom progressed, Kira discovered a new strength within her. She began to see Riker not as an enemy, but as a potential ally, man with his own dreams and burdens. But just as hope began to blossom, the tides of war shifted again. A faction within Pyrrhus, driven by old grudges, threatened to undermine any chance of peace. Whispers of rebellion filled the air, and Kira found herself caught in the crossfire once more. The tension between the two kingdoms reached a boiling point, forcing Kira and Riker to confront their own fears. One fateful night, as the stars twinkled above, Kira stood atop the castle walls, contemplating the weight of her choices. Her heart waged a war of its own, torn between her duty and her burgeoning love for Riker. As she gazed into the distance, Riker approached, his presence a steadying force. "Kira," he spoke softly, "we stand on the precipice of change. Together, we can break the cycle of hatred that binds our kingdoms. But it must be a choice made from the heart, not a decree born of war." In that moment, Kira realized the true cost of her resistance. It was not merely about her freedom or her identity. It was about the hope she could offer to her people and the future she could forge with Riker. With newfound clarity, she turned to him, her eyes ablaze with determination. "Let us not just fight for our kingdoms, but for a world where love conquers hatred. Together, we can show our people that unity is the only path forward." Their alliance blossomed, forging an unbreakable bond between Eloria and Pyrith. They rallied their forces, urging the people to rise against the cycle of animosity that had long defined their existence. With Kira leading the charge, their combined armies marched forth, united by a vision of peace. But just as hope began to take root, tragedy struck. In a desperate attempt to maintain power, a rogue faction launched an attack during a peace summit, threatening to undo everything Kira and Riker had fought for. The chaos of battle engulfed the landscape, leaving destruction in its wake. In the midst of the conflict, Kira fought fiercely, her sword gleaming under the sun as she defended her people. But as the dust settled, the price of victory became painfully clear. Kira and Riker emerged from the battle scarred, their hearts heavy with loss. Many lives had been lost, and the scars of war ran deep. Yet in that moment of devastation, Kira understood the importance of healing. "We cannot allow hatred to dictate our future," she urged, her voice steady despite the turmoil surrounding them. "Let us honor the fallen by building a legacy of peace, not vengeance." As the embers of conflict faded, Kira and Riker took the first steps toward rebuilding their kingdoms. The scars of war would take time to heal, but together they forged a path forward, one that embraced unity and compassion. With each passing day, the people of Eloria and Pyrith began to see the beauty in their differences, recognizing that together they could create a tapestry woven from the threads of their shared experiences. In the years that followed, Kira emerged not only as a warrior princess, but as a symbol of hope for both kingdoms. Under her guidance and Riker's unwavering support, they crafted a new era testament to the power of love and resilience. Their journey had not been without trials, but each challenge had only strengthened their resolve. And so, amidst the lush valleys and rugged mountains, Kira stood at the forefront of a brighter future, a warrior for peace. The winds of change blew gently across the land, whispering promises of a new beginning, a testament to the enduring spirit of those who dared to challenge tradition and forge their own destinies. In the end, it was not just the kingdoms that transformed, but the very essence of what it meant to be a leader, a warrior, and a lover in a world where love triumphed over hate, and hope blossomed amid the ashes of despair.